like to take a brief moment just to ask all of our panelists for their key takeaways or their final thoughts. Edward, perhaps you want to lead us off with a few of your final thoughts.
I think the takeaway, at least from the earlier discussion, is as hard as the Trump administration has tried to favor coal and fossil fuels, and it really hasn't necessarily been trying to hurt renewables, although that's been the kind of the indirect impact. It really has been unable to do so far. I think the PTC and ITC continue to provide strong economic support. Corporate purchasers have stepped up, and coal is no longer economic. The future will be more difficult if the PTC and ITC are not extended. And if they're not extended, look for continued cutting of funding for research and continued support for fossil fuels. So the next 15 months are going to be pretty critical to the industry.
Thank you so much. Mona, some final thoughts from yourself as well, please.
Sure. Just quickly, offshore wind in the United States is here. It's growing, as is storage. Renewables are definitely pulling ahead in the power sector, and it has. We're very bullish about renewable energy capacity, and the solar is really leading right now in terms of the power charge, and renewable energy is making the growth and investment is really starting to add up. This has, we believe that the offshore wind and storage will help foster to increase the world's installed capacity, and and also that renewables, whether it's offshore or storage or wind or solar or some of the other technologies, is creating the most jobs and account for the bulk of the renewable energy, despite a minority of renewable energy capacity right now. So I think that's my takeaway. At the end of the day, we're bullish.
Thank you so much. And Morton, perhaps you want to close us out with a few of your final thoughts as well.
Sure. I'll just go at it with a philosophical observation. I wrote an article 3 years ago, right after the election, boldly declaring that Trump couldn't possibly hurt solar that much. He's been trying to prove me wrong ever since. But I think for all the things that Ed mentioned, the states have stepped up, the corporates have stepped up, and ironically, the Trump presidency may have been good for solar. Bottom line, I think, is that the war is won. Solar and wind are here to stay. The rest of the industry doesn't know they're dead yet, but it's just a matter of time at this stage, and looking forward to a cleaner, newer world.